Hi, do you want to know an easy and very repeatable way of keeping your chisels and planes sharp? So I'm going to show you a couple of devices that are super helpful. And the main thing about them is that they make the sharpening process systemized, and that systemized thing is repeatable. I use it in my lessons, probably have 80 students at different times within the week. And if everybody's doing it by freehand and we're sharing the same tools, the blades are totally out of whack. So it's good to have a system in place, either for yourself or if someone's helping you out, that you can follow the system and have great consistency over your sharpening of your tools. So we know that sharp tools are safer tools. And here's the tools that I would strongly suggest worth investing in, whether you're a beginner or even if you're a tradesperson, because it was a long time before I started actually sharpening my tools after I'd learned it. I'd learned in college how to do it and was doing it by freehand, but it was such a hassle, just often ended up putting it off, or you'd outsource it and get someone else to do it. But it's a great thing to be able to do yourself, and you can then just constantly keep them nice and sharp, especially if you're working in a workshop or if you're out on site. This equipment is really handy for doing that as well. So is a rider sharpening system from Axminster. You can get it on Amazon. I'll stick a link to it below. On this plate, it's got some feet. It comes with a honing guide and the sharpening stone. Well, I'm not going to get into what it all comes with. You can check that out directly, people. I'm going to show you how to use it. So let's take this out. I was doing one earlier. If you're starting out and you want to get practicing on chisels, go with the widest chisel that you can find. The wider the better. And I'd start with chisels rather than planes, because if you need to start with planes, then you've got to dismantle the plane and reassemble it, and that's its own complication for beginners. So start with a chisel and start with a very wide one. What have I got here? I've got a 32mm bevel edge chisel. Nice and easy. Got the honing guide and the sharpening stuff here. Now on this, we'll take the honing guide. I've done a short video on setting this up, but I'll explain it here again. Being right-handed, I'm going to keep the screw part on the right-hand side. I'm going to put the chisel with the back of it down on the stone. Then the honing guide's going to slot over it, and the left-hand side is actually the square side. So that's in place. That's going to go right up to that edge. Then we're going to tighten this up. When you slot this in here, there is a place where this has to go in. So the back of the blade is on our secondary angle, and then the honing guide is pushed up against the stone here. And when you capture that in there, you do it hand tight. Then you're going to take a screwdriver and tighten that up a bit firmer, because hand tight's just not enough. It does need a flathead screwdriver to make that a little tighter. Now with this, it will also set it up that when I run my square against the edge of the blade, we should have the cutting edge square as well. And on that one, it already is, thankfully, but that one, otherwise it would square it up, because that's what we want, square edge to the cutting edge. Now we have the bevel edge chisel secure in the honing guide. We're going to turn this over so that this wheel is going to run on the diamond stone. Now I like using a diamond stone because if you want some lubricant, you can use a bit of water on that, but you don't have to. If we were to use something like an oil stone to sharpen this, you'd need to use oil, and that just gets even messier. I'd rather not have that in my bag or on site, so I prefer to use the diamond stone. Now with that, we're going to place the wheel down on the diamond stone. You're going to put your thumbs behind the blade, and then my fingers and middle fingers on the blade here. And I'm using both hands so that I can keep even pressure across that blade. Then as you're going to sharpen this goes back and forth, and you wouldn't want to do it just in the one line. If you keep doing it on one line, it's more of a habit because of the oil stones. If you went across that in one direction, kept going on it, it would just create a groove in it, not so much on diamond stones. So that's why you're told to do it in a figure of 8, or at least in circles, and move around on the stone. Now that, if we take a very close look at that one, you see that up there nice and close? It creates little metal filings that come out there. It creates little metal filings that come out the back, and that's called burr. So we want to remove that burr. See that? That's not going to be enough. So we take this, turn it round, and then we're going to start with the back of that chisel up there. If we get a close up from this side, you can see that I'm starting up here. I'm not going to put the blade down here because that will put an angle on the back of it. I want to start it here on the flat. Then I'm going to put it onto the stone. And with that, I'm going to run that across. And I'll probably do that 3 to 5 times. Run it through there. It's easier going the other direction. That way. And I haven't taken the guide off. I run it through there. That will remove the burr. When you're using a cloth to clean this up, be careful which way you're going that you don't end up cutting your fingers on it. That's got a sharp angle on there. If I wanted to, I could use the leather strop as well to clean that up. I'm not doing super sharp here. You can get into that a bit more as you go, getting more super sharp and practicing your sharpening. This is just to actually start out. Now that is a nice sharp angle on that one. Let's undo that from here. And if I turn that at the back of the blade, you'll get a nice cut on that. So there we have it. That's a systemized way of sharpening your planes and chisels. And best way to start is using as wide a chisel as you possibly can. And that's going to help you to get a bit more practice into it and have fun doing it. So there you go. That's the systemized way of getting repeatably sharp tools. Good luck with that. See you in the next one.